A sign showed up a few weeks ago in the kitchen of the Palm Springs restaurant, Billy Reed's, stating that employees were not to speak Spanish while working, unless it was necessary on the cook line. Apparently, the sign was put up after some customers complained about workers speaking Spanish, and specifically complained about whether the workers were talking about the customers themselves. According to the restaurant owner, Billy Reed, none of his employees will be fired for breaking the English-only rule. However, that statement flies in the face of what one employee told a reporter, that, quote, the boss was going to fire the first one he heard talking in Spanish. Who do you believe? The same employee admitted to being upset about feeling the pressure from his boss to only speak English, due to the fact that he and many of the other workers speak to one another in Spanish, their native tongue. The employee also acknowledged that he is in the U.S. and should speak English, but not necessarily to his Spanish-speaking coworkers. Therefore, the answer to the question of whether or not an employer can require his employees to only speak English becomes of paramount importance. The answer turns out to be not really, or at least not based on the circumstances surrounding the Billy Reed case. According to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the only viable reasons to legally apply and enforce an English-only rule is when it is needed for the business to, quote, operate safely or efficiently, neither of which were the case at Billy Reed's. Just because some patrons thought workers were talking about them in Spanish, which I'm sure they were stupid enough to do in front of or near the customers because, those immigrant busboys, etc., are cocky bastards, does not justify the change in policy at the restaurant. Not only did Reed put himself in a potentially precarious situation legally, but now he and his business have received negative attention in the press. Either Reed checked with an attorney beforehand and got bad advice, or didn't, and instead assumed he had the legal right to force or at least intimidate some of his workers into only speaking English at work. Perhaps next time, Reed will take his workers' side, or at least give them the benefit of the doubt, and not assume they were talking about his customers within earshot.